Raiders fans, what a chaotic stretch this has been, and every time we think we've hit rock bottom, it somehow feels like there's still another floor beneath us. Watching this team lately has been like trying to navigate a storm without a compass. And the one thing that keeps echoing in my mind is how badly this organization needs a new direction. Because right now, nothing feels steady, nothing feels intentional, and nothing feels like it's moving toward a future that makes any sense. This season has turned into a long string of confusion, frustration, and flat-out disbelief, and the constant question hovering over everything is how much longer this ride can go on before someone finally decides to pull the plug on this entire operation. The way this team steps onto the field every week tells you everything you need to know. There's no energy, no clarity, no identity, and the longer this goes on, the clearer it becomes that the leadership at the very top is the source of it all. It's painful to watch, and even more painful to admit, but nothing changes until the head of the ship does. Week after week, moments that should be simple become disasters. Decisions that should be obvious somehow turn into confusion, and the players look like they're stuck inside a system that doesn't believe in them and doesn't know what to do with them. You watch a game like that Monday Night Showdown, and it's impossible not to feel like you're witnessing every single flaw of this team condensed into one exhausting performance. Before the game even settled in, the tone was already off, like everyone was bracing for something bad to happen. And then the game itself confirmed exactly what everyone feared. On offense, nothing clicked. On defense, there were gaps the size of freeways. On special teams, every step felt like someone forgot the basics. It is rare to see all three units crumble together, but somehow this staff has managed to create a version of the Raiders that underperforms in every possible phase. It's the kind of thing that makes you sit back and wonder how we got here, because the team wearing silver and black right now doesn't even look like a reflection of what this franchise is supposed to stand for. It feels unfamiliar. It feels flat. It feels lost. And the most maddening part is that every time you think the coaching decisions can't get any stranger, they somehow do. You hear the way the game plan was built, you hear the explanations after the game, and you can't help but stare at the screen wondering what in the world is going on inside that building. When a team is struggling as badly as this one is, you expect adjustments. You expect accountability. You expect the staff to recognize what's working and what isn't. Instead, it feels like everything is being done out of stubbornness rather than strategy. Quarterbacks being asked to carry the entire offense with reckless volume, running backs being forgotten like they barely exist, and a blueprint that never reflects the strengths of the roster. You can't win football games that way, and yet we keep watching this exact same pattern unfold again and again. It drains the confidence of the players, it drains the confidence of the fans, and it drains the entire mood surrounding the season. Then you shift to personnel decisions, and the confusion grows even bigger. Young players sit on the sidelines while struggling veterans get thrown back on the field repeatedly, even when the difference in performance is obvious. A team that is stumbling through a season like this should be using every opportunity to evaluate its future. Instead, promising rookies are kept inactive or benched for reasons that make no sense to anyone paying attention. When you see a young offensive lineman who needs reps get sidelined for a mistake in practice or for showing confidence, it sends the wrong message. When a defensive back is getting beaten in coverage over and still stays in the game for 3 full quarters while another corner, who has played better when given the chance, waits on the sideline, it becomes clear that something deeper is broken. You can't preach competition and accountability while rewarding the exact opposite. Players notice that. Fans notice that. And before long, the locker room starts to drift away because the trust isn't there. The defensive side of the ball hasn't been any better. Week after week, breakdowns happen in the exact same spots, in the exact same ways, and nothing ever changes. Missed assignments, wide-open receivers, blown coverages that leave the secondary scrambling to recover. It's a recurring nightmare. And what makes it even tougher to swallow is that this side of the ball is supposed to be the strength of the head coach. This is supposed to be the area where experience and expertise shine, where problems get fixed quickly, where leadership takes charge. Instead, it's been the opposite. Every issue is magnified. Every flaw repeats. Every weakness gets exposed immediately by any offense with a functioning plan. It's not just a bad defense. It's a defense with no direction, no cohesion, and no sense that it's building toward anything sustainable. And when you listen to the post-game press conferences, the frustration only grows. Instead of hearing solutions, you hear excuses. Instead of hearing accountability, you hear vague explanations and contradictions. Instead of hearing a coach who sees the problems clearly, you hear someone who seems disconnected from what's happening on the field. The gap between what the fans see and what the staff says could not be wider, and it gives the impression that the people in charge are living in an alternate reality. You cannot fix a team if you refuse to acknowledge what is broken. And right now, the disconnect is impossible to ignore. What becomes even more alarming is the effect all of this has on the future. Because it's not just about losing games this season. It's about what comes next. When you have a staff that refuses to play rookies, refuses to develop young talent, refuses to adjust the scheme, and refuses to acknowledge mistakes, how can anyone trust them to build the long-term foundation of this franchise? How can you believe they'll draft the right players, or sign the right free agents, or develop the next quarterback, or build a roster that actually fits together? When you look forward and all you see is more of the same, that's when a hopelessness kicks in. And right now, a lot of fans feel exactly that. They are tired of the mismanagement, tired of the inconsistency, tired of watching a proud franchise stumble through a season without any signs of improvement. They want a plan. They want leadership. They want someone who understands how to build, not just someone who hangs on to old ideas and outdated philosophies. And as tough as it is to say, the longer this continues, the clearer it becomes that the only path forward is a complete reset. Because as long as the same minds are making the same decisions, nothing changes. The same predictable patterns keep showing up, the same stubborn choices keep hurting the team, and the same cycle keeps pulling this franchise backward. Raiders fans deserve more than that. The players deserve more than that. The organization deserves more than that. And until someone steps aside, this feels like a situation that will never truly move forward. As we move deeper into this unfolding narrative surrounding the injury saga, the atmosphere around the team continues to shift in unexpected ways. Fans, analysts, and even former players have started voicing their opinions about how the organization is handling the situation, and this collective tension has created a cloud of doubt hovering over the upcoming weeks of the season. It's important to acknowledge how delicate this moment truly is. When a key player's recovery stalls or diverges from expectations, the ripple effects go far beyond the medical report. It alters the team's rhythm, the strategic identity, and even the confidence of players who suddenly feel the pressure to elevate their game in ways they may not have anticipated. That's exactly what seems to be happening now, as uncertainty grows regarding his exact timeline, his physical readiness, and how soon he can realistically return to the lineup. Narratives like these can quickly spiral when clarity isn't provided, and that's why so many people are demanding transparency or at least a clearer outlook from the organization. Some believe the franchise is downplaying the seriousness of the issue, while others argue that fans simply aren't used to seeing extended setbacks from a player who has built his reputation on durability and resilience. What we're witnessing is a clash of expectations versus reality. And whenever that happens in professional sports, there's bound to be noise from all sides. The coaching staff knows it, the front office knows it, and the players definitely feel it. Even though most of them try to avoid the outside chatter, it's impossible to ignore the fact that every conversation, every press conference, and every practice session now carries a different weight. Yet despite the doubt, there's an unwavering sense of belief within the locker room. Teammates have repeatedly expressed their confidence in his eventual return and their commitment to holding the line until he's fully ready. They understand that rushing back from an injury can be catastrophic for both the individual and the team, especially at this crucial stage of the season. This is the moment when discipline becomes more important than desperation. Still, as fans, it's natural to feel anxious. Each passing game without him makes the situation feel heavier, and each new update, no matter how small, becomes a source of scrutiny. The reality is that injuries are unpredictable, and sometimes even the most advanced medical evaluations can't offer the certainty that everyone craves. While the team continues to move forward, adjusting the game plan and relying on players who now have expanded roles, there's also an emotional element that can't be overlooked. This is a player whose presence energizes the entire roster. His intensity, leadership, and ability to shift momentum with a single play are irreplaceable. Without him, the team has to dig deeper to find that spark, and while they've shown resilience, everyone knows things aren't quite the same. The coaching staff has experimented with lineup changes, rotational tweaks, and even strategic adjustments designed to soften the impact of his absence. Some of those changes have worked beautifully, while others remain a work in progress. But that's the nature of adapting on the fly. You don't always get immediate results, even when the effort is there. The most intriguing part of all this is how fans have formed two completely different interpretations of what's going on. On one hand, there are those who believe this is just a minor setback being blown out of proportion by speculation and overanalysis. On the other hand, some are convinced that something deeper is happening behind the scenes, something the organization is being overly cautious about revealing. Social media has only fueled this divide, with clips, photos, and quotes being dissected and debated by thousands of people each day. Every gesture, every comment, every detail is treated as potential evidence pointing toward one conclusion or the other. That's the passion of the fan base, but it's also a testament to how vital this player is to the identity of the team. In the midst of all this speculation, one thing remains clear. The franchise is determined to get this right. They're not going to jeopardize his long-term health or the future of the organization by rushing anything. Whether that frustrates the fans or not, it reflects an understanding that championships aren't won through panic. They're won through patience, precision, and smart decision-making. And right now, the smartest decision is to let the healing process unfold naturally, even if it means enduring a stretch of uncertainty. If anything, this is an opportunity for the rest of the roster to showcase their growth and prove that they can shoulder the load during challenging times. Some players have already stepped up in impressive fashion, demonstrating hunger, leadership, and maturity. As we await the next official update, the conversation will undoubtedly continue. Fans will keep debating, insiders will keep digging, and the team will keep grinding. But behind all the noise lies a simple truth. The story isn't finished yet. What happens in the coming days and weeks will determine not only the trajectory of the season, but also the narrative surrounding this entire situation. And when he finally returns, whether sooner or later, you can be sure the impact will be felt instantly. For now, all we can do is stay tuned, stay hopeful, and support the team through every twist and turn of this journey. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A quiet murmur that began in the hallways of league insiders has grown into something much louder. A trade between the Browns and the Raiders is said to be confirmed, and the name at the center of the commotion is none other than Myles Garrett. The mere suggestion of the Raiders landing one of the NFL's most dominant pass rushers was enough to jolt fan bases on both sides. But now the talk has shifted from speculation to stunned acceptance. People close to the situation describe a sense of disbelief inside team circles. Garrett, long viewed as the Browns' foundation on defense, is reportedly packing his bag for Las Vegas, where the Raiders have been hunting for a signature defensive superstar to anchor their rebuild. While official details remain tightly guarded, whispers suggest the Raiders pushed aggressively, refusing to leave negotiations without their prize. In Las Vegas, the reaction ranges from euphoric to incredulous. Social media has already erupted with mock-ups of Garrett in silver and black, accompanied by confident predictions that the franchise just altered its defensive identity overnight. Within Browns territory, however, the tone has shifted to uneasy curiosity. How could a player of Garrett's stature be moved? What return could possibly justify parting with a force who regularly bends offensive lines to his will? Some insiders hint that the Browns' front office had been contemplating a drastic shakeup, seeking long-term flexibility or a dramatic philosophical reset. Others insist there must be more layers yet to emerge from behind closed doors. What is certain, at least within the ever-buzzing rumor circuit, is that the Raiders appear to have pulled off a headline-stealing move few saw coming. Until the teams step up to officially address the deal, the league remains suspended in a cloud of speculation. But for now, the whispers are unanimous. Myles Garrett is heading to the desert, and the shockwaves are only beginning. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.